Today we are reviewing Velocipastor, the 2019 film. The synopsis is, after losing his parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. Although he is horrified by the new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime.
All right, witches, strap in, because if you haven't put this together yet, this movie is about to get spoiled. So get ready. Hi, folks. My name is Emily, and I am an iPad owner, skirt wearer, and eyelash tamer.
And I am Stephanie. I am a dog mom first. I love food.
End of list.
Done.
My name is Blaine. I enjoy long walks on short beaches, and I'm an Aquarius, and I wear black, and I'm a witch, and I love you guys. Bye.
Blaine, you can't be a witch every single week.
But I have to.
She's
That's
always
true.
a witch.
Never mind. You can just be a.
You can be a witch every
standard
goddamn
as
day.
witch. Yes, yes. Okay, so today we are talking about Velocipastor.
Velocipastor.
I can't even express fully the regal power this film has.
If the budget for the film is less than my college debt, you know that we're in for a ride. And this budget was $35,000. That was 1 year of F&M, by the way. I did not go to F&M, by the way. I'm not smart enough for that shit. But putting it in perspective.
And fun fact, this film was nominated for Best Film in the Genre Blast Film Festival of 2018.
Well, Genre
and
Blast.
It won Best Far Out Feature in the South African Horror Fest. Now, these are almost like, is it even really count if you win?
It counts. That shit would be how I introduce myself to
I'd be
people.
like, I won the Poughkeepsie, New York Best Bundt Cake in this shopping center award.
I don't doubt that I would win that award. I make a mean bunt.
I don't think I've ever baked anything that's not out of the box, but...
So
I do a lot of bacon.
The thing I take issue with, and of course I take issue, is that, what's his name? Brandon?
The guy, the
Brian?
writer?
The writer-director.
The
editor.
writer.
Brendan Steele.
Steer.
Which he kept trying to autocorrect to Steele, and I was like, this is not a porno.
Wait, that's his name?
Yeah, Brendan Steer.
Okay.
So he actually went to a really great art school.
Where did he go?
For
Why?
Wait, I don't know. Hang on, I have the notes here.
It had a trauma
So-
vibe to me, the Toxic Avenger and Romeo and Juliet.
What's funny is, and I'll just say this right off the bat, when you look at the cover art for this, you
beautiful.
are not expecting what you get.
Oh,
so
no.
don't go into this thinking this is gonna look like Jurassic Park.
No, this looks like Jim Henson as a 2-year-old.
No, I mean,
Making
I
a
don't even
Velociraptor
think as much
puppet.
as we talk about this, we can't actually fully explain how. And having said this, I like this movie.
Oh my gosh,
it
it's so
was
much
a
fun.
delight.
Pure
It was
delight.
a delight. Yeah.
So the idea for this movie stemmed from when Brendan Steer, the director, first thought in 2010, while he was typing to a friend, he's trying to say Velociraptor, and it automatically corrected to Velocipastor.
Thanks, Steve Jobs.
At the time,
This was Apple's idea again.
at the time, he was a student at the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan.
Oh, goddamn now.
And he took this idea and ran with it to be his final project of the semester.
Did she
yeah.
pass? Well, I guess you can
apparently
with flying
it doesn't matter.
fail art school. You
So,
could do a thesis on what butt plugs could be to save the world. And
How did you know what my thesis was?
oh my god, my thesis was actually almost an examination of modern porn culture.
Ooh.
That
And
would have
then,
been so good.
I ended up totally switching to HIV/AIDS in South Africa.
Aw.
So it was really...
I did how chronic illness affects small businesses.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna say how the West was won.
No,
You paused.
no, I actually studied a woman in Ghana who had endometriosis, and she was trying to start her own business, but in her culture it was seen as witchcraft to
yeah.
have chronic hysteria
Obviously,
pain.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh my
anyway,
God.
we're on a
You're
rabbit trail.
sick. You're insane.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can't sell your baskets here, and she's like, I'm gonna do it, motherfucker.
She's like,
and,
but I made these.
open an Etsy shop. It was
It's
the
like
whole
the
thing.
sound of my vagina. But I made these.
Yeah, that is also what Stephanie's vagina sounds like. We've decided.
So this movie starts off very quick.
Yes.
And this
It dives right in.
He's a pastor. He's in a church. he finishes his beautiful sermon.
Before this, can we just talk about the very awkward text that says "rated X" by an all Christian jury, which I wrote in my notes. Cool, we get it. It's satirical. Surprise for a movie named Velocipastor. We get it. And he's also reading the book of Job, which is interesting.
I was curious. I was going to research what he was reading, but I was like, I don't care.
So he's reading from the book of Job, which is known as like the biggest bummer book of the Bible. So this is this guy who like it's actually like a beautiful story, but it's also like tragic and also we'll just read it. So Job is this guy who's like, I love God, and God's like talking to the devil one day because apparently they hang out, and the devil's like, I bet I could fuck this guy's life up enough that he'll hate you. And God was like, bet. So Satan kills his wife, kills his kids, burns his fucking farm down, and Job's still like,
I'm sorry, I stole that from the last podcast.
Party. So he like ruins his goddamn life, and Job's like, I still love you, God. And God's like, cool, here's a hotter wife and new kids and a bigger farm. And the moral of the story is that if you love God enough, he'll kill your ugly wife. And you'll get better.
After he's reading this terrifying story, he exits the church all smiley and then
lucky.
He sees his parents across the street. Oh my God, Mom, Dad, hi! And then
they just look like they're from Michigan.
Yeah, they look like wait, say something in Michigan.
Oh gosh. Okay. So we're gonna go and visit our son. He's a pastor. He's a pastor, and we're gonna go
talk about cheese.
Talk about cheese. Oh God, what kind of cheese?
That's
very like Wisconsin, but we're getting there.
So then, out of nowhere, his parents' car, they're standing near, it explodes.
Presumably.
Yeah, because we don't.
So then what they do is they do insert special effects car explosion.
VFX car on fire is displayed. It comes up on the screen.
He's just screaming. And I was like,
you're just seeing him react to words.
He's saying, no! It's like he came too soon.
Right.
And then it's
Gregory or Greg Cohen is his name, the actor. Sure. All the Oscars for this. Yeah. Good job.
So he literally screamed, and he it's just off the bat. This is like the best college humor movie I've ever seen.
The only note I took after that VFX car on fire is schlock.
Schlock.
It's perfect.
Cut to 2 seconds later, he's in the church with his like mentor, the priest,
Father Stewart.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Do you want some more sacramental wine?" And he's just like. And then he's like, your parents just died!
Right, he's like, let's get fucked up on the blood of Christ.
And then they have floating heads. The floating heads were great.
The floating heads are divine. It's like every 80s portrait with a cat.
And I love that they made you physically watch the effort that went into putting those floating heads there. Because you saw every stop and start.
Yes.
It was so fantastic.
And they were like, should we edit it? Nah.
So wait, they're just talking, and they're just talking about like, I don't know what's left. Like, he's just like having a moment. Where's God? Like, what am I gonna do? And then so his Father Stevens is
Stewart,
like Father Stewart.
I call him FS the whole time.
FS.
That's helpful.
FS is like, you have to go where God will not find you.
I hate this so much.
This is fucked up.
Which is also allegedly China.
Yeah,
he goes to China.
Which the majority of is Christian.
Can we unpack that statement a little bit? Where a priest
I don't
or
even think
father...
we need to. I think it just makes so much sense.
Hey, you know how we can hide from God? Do that.
Go to China.
Great.
Also,
lovely.
who was just like surface level feeling grimy watching a pastor the entire time, and just the Catholic Church in general.
For sure. I think it only made it better knowing that he was going to become a dinosaur.
Like an older priest getting a younger priest drunk alone, and you're
sacramental wine.
Like woof.
Did anybody else? All they could think about was Mel Brooks saying, "Oh, you've been in the sacramental wine again."
Oh my god.
Oh, you're a verschnicket.
I hope I get reincarnated as Mel Brooks.
Spitting all over Emily's iPad.
No, do it.
Right in the sun.
Do it. Spit at everything.
By the way, can we just talk about this? The woods, when he apparently goes to China in the next scene.
Also, he drives to China.
He drives to the song
credits.
Extinction Love.
Yes.
Which is like about becoming a...
and then the credits...
I think was it made specifically
I
for
believe
this?
so. When you Shazam the song, which one
yes,
does
that's exactly what I did.
I Shazam every other song, by the way, not this one.
So the cover art for Velocipastor comes up. It does not have its own designated cover art.
No. So he drives to China. The credits are rolling about who made this piece of shit. And then he gets there, and it looks like Idaho. It looks like the delightful woods of Idaho. And he says, China is east, or like, this is east,
right,
definitely
like he feels
east.
it in his bones.
Yes. Okay, wait. This, to me, is basically like Beverly Hills Ninja 2.
And also, like, by and large, yeah, it's called the East.
Yes.
Like, China is literally referred to as the Far East. Like, go figure, you fucking prick.
So he's hiking in apparently China.
Allegedly.
By the way, did anyone look at the actual, on IMDb it says
Chinese villager is her name, by the way,
that's
which is
exact-
like
that's
racist and sexist.
She's one of 2 Asian people.
Yeah,
in
but
this
it
movie.
also said that one of the locations for shooting was in China, and I'm like,
These
they better
bitches
not.
did not
They
go.
better not.
There's
no
no way.
shit. You mean Chinatown in New
Yeah.
York?
They got an egg roll, and they were like, that counts. We're
China.
there.
We ate egg roll. We ate lo mein before this, like Emily right now. So she's sucking up some lo mein. It's amazing. Okay, so then this Asian lady villager, Chinese villager, runs
Played
in
by
the woods,
Claire.
played by Claire, runs through the woods as he has just realized he's Far East, and she gets shot by a ninja with an arrow, and she appears to be holding what looks like a Jenga piece, and it turns out to be a tooth.
Well, and I want to just take a moment to appreciate the person that shot her with an arrow. So I assumed it was him because it's clearly white male hands.
Yes.
And it's established that we're somewhere in the Far East, but apparently not far enough east because he's going to keep going.
It's only it's like St. Louis.
Right. He's in St. Louis. That makes sense. So like you see this, and then he's holding his hands like a bow and arrow.
Yes.
When he's like to the east, and I'm like, okay, was this like a fever dream? What's occurring? And then Chinese villager falls like through the woods, like basically at his feet with this Jenga piece.
And then she says some indecipherable words to him.
I believe it's Mandarin.
Yes.
Wait, sorry, I was going to go back to the thing. Was she saying Norway? Is it Mandarin? Mandarin?
Norway. She actually was lighting him
That's
menorah.
slang, using that Norwegian slang.
She was speaking some gibberish Chinese. So he...
Although, like, I have no doubt that if they had to have subtitles on this film, which I do, I'm one of those bitches that
Would
watches
that not have been
everything with
amazing?
subtitles,
Had they had
that it just
subtitles?
would say, like, Chinese nonsense.
Yes.
Chinese
like, that's
words.
the level of production value that we have, where they would just
And
like,
also- and also
some
the
East
level
stuff.
of consideration. Like,
Yes.
I just
Yes.
think... So,
They
okay.
couldn't name her. They couldn't be like, her name's June.
No,
Like,
no.
they couldn't do it at all.
Something as simple as that is
Right.
beyond xenophobia.
Atlas.
Yeah.
I mean, just pick a name, man.
So he takes the thing out of her hand. It is a tooth, and we later discover it's obviously a dinosaur / lizard tooth.
Dino tooth,
and
yep.
he cuts himself on it, and then he passes the fuck out.
She's saying in Mandarin, they will hunt you forever. Take it, destroy it, destroy it. And he's like, take it and keep it forever because I deserve your
He's
culture.
like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah,
This is
he's
amazing.
like, oh my god, I'm taking home. Now
I'm
I
in
can
China.
leave.
I'm gonna drive back. It's gonna take me like 14 days, but it's fine. Also, my car's flooded because I went through the water.
Right? And also, is it the same car that was exploded?
No.
Okay.
Wait, is it?
probably
I was like, did they have one car? Like, between all of them? They were like,
This
who's got a car?
this was shot exclusively in New York, so that's 100% possible. Or it was an Uber.
Ooh, yeah. Oh.
What if
Well,
they just
did
used
not
the
have
Lyft?
Ubers.
The
Oh, no,
Lyft.
they did, because it may have been...
2019, yeah.
Well, and that's the question. So, when was this film filmed?
Because it was released in 2019.
It was
Well, and they went through a ton of crowdfunding that never succeeded until
came to
2018.
I apologies for it having succeeded.
Oh, no, I love it.
No, I loved it. It was great.
I love it.
I will watch it again and again.
But
only really on acid.
Right? Amazon claims that it's from 2019. IMDb claims it's from 2018, and I think Wikipedia claims that it's from 2017.
Yeah.
Your pronunciation of Wikipedia.
I know.
Are we back in Michigan? March?
Yes.
I can't even do a fake.
Okay, we're in
do a fake.
Wikipedia. Yeah.
It sounds like a town that I don't want to go to.
How do you say
Wikipedia.
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 Oh, there's no
like
wiki.
Wicca.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna keep doing my shit.
I think yours is fancier and better. So
I've been sayeen that out loud in public for so long.
I adore you.
Wikipedia. And people are like, this bitch. Oh no. Okay. Well, anyway, on Wikipedia.
Now we see he's back in bed, and the other guy comes and he's like, are you hungry? How are you?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm hungry.
Hungry. That hits different.
Hungry hippo.
Hungry. And he's like
Gotta
kind
get
of
my
sweaty.
marbles.
Okay, also though, he can kind of get it, except for those weird moles around his
He
eyes.
looks like John Mulaney.
Yeah.
He does look like
He looks
Like
kind
a
of
toned John Mulaney.
yeah, like a more muscular
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Mulaney.
Which, I mean, I like Noodle John Mulaney, to be honest.
Did you see that picture of him before he went on SNL?
Girl.
Oh,
But you're like, you get a pay us.
yeah.
You get
You're
a pay
adorable.
us.
I'd hit it.
But no, he's cute as a goddamn button. I love him.
So we flip to, he's talking about how hungry he is. All of a sudden, we're in the streets of New York, and this woman is walking around, and she's like,
Carol.
she's fucking beautiful.
Oh,
P.S.
she's a snack.
Also, this whole movie, she is overacting so hard, because
Yes.
I'm like, baby, nobody's at this level you're at.
She's working so hard
Go down.
and nobody else.
Bring it down. Bring
I
it down.
love it.
So she's walking, and she goes over to my favorite character in this whole fucking movie.
Frankie Mermaid.
Frankie Mermaid. Okay, so
Okay, can we unpack just one more thing before Frankie is introduced? So he then like runs out of the building and is confronted with a homeless man, and him as a pastor is like, nah, bro, I ain't got time for you.
Yep.
And then we meet Carol, who's a sex worker, and is like, yes, here's some money.
Also, just
and continues on her
let's
way.
take some appreciation for Carol.
Carol,
She is
what a
an
bitch.
angel.
sexy as fuck.
Oh my
I
God.
would sex work the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Also, they say, let's just take a moment to be PC. Hooker is not the correct term.
Yep.
Sex worker
Sex
is the
worker.
correct term.
Yes,
Mhm.
and also their work is valuable.
Yep.
Yes.
And so she goes up to her pimp, Frankie Mermaid. He proceeds to slap her in the most fake slap I've ever seen.
I love
the
it.
best fake slap ever. And it's almost like you would expect to see like a kapow. Like,
Right.
like a joke.
Like it just pop up like a comic book.
And
yeah.
he says, and then he says, Frankie Mermaid is swimming in bitches. And then
Right, that's why he's called Frankie Mermaid, because
Right,
he's
'cause
swimming in
swimming
bitches.
in
Yeah.
And then he says, and then she leaves, and he's like basically saying like, you need to make more money. And then she leaves, and then he turns to someone's across the street, and he says, if you were stuffing as many dicks in your mouth as you were that sandwich, I'd have more money.
I'd be a millionaire by
I'd be a
now.
millionaire by now.
It's just chef's kiss. Beautiful.
And
moment
also,
in the
okay, so
development of this
set him
character.
up, close your eyes. He has a fedora style hat, long curly hair. He has the open, like
Greasy.
a satin shirt, like a chain, very
With some chest
typical,
hair.
Ooh, yeah, tufts.
typical New York 1970s, 80s pimp, set in 2019,
Yes.
obviously.
But chunky.
A chunky,
He chonky.
a chonky pimp.
He chonky.
A chonky pimp.
Yeah.
And
A comb over.
comb
yeah, a
over,
very
and he takes his
intense,
head
very
off. He says, you
slick.
know why they call me Frankie Mermaid? Takes his head off, because I'm swimming in bitches.
And when
his
he
hat.
makes her finish the statement, he's like, "Cause you're swimming in bitches." Like just like that's the it's like saying the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning. He's
Yes.
just like, yep, okay.
So
bitches.
then Carol, our delightful sex worker, it then quickly transitions to
Yeah,
night.
she
it is a full moon. I would like to point that out. Full moon.
Where did you see that? Did you see that?
In the sky.
I
His first transformation is very much werewolf inspired, of like under the full
Oh,
moon in
it's
a
like
forest,
the moors.
like
It's beautiful.
yeah.
I love that. Then she's casually walking, and the burglar, someone comes up to her. He's a robber or
Yeah.
a murderer
He's a
or
murderer.
whatever,
Kind of
and he
general.
says, "Your money or your life," and he's like asking her an odd amount of questions for a man with a gun.
I know.
Right.
And and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a dinosaur.
Right. Doug shows up.
He has transformed, and he attacks the fucking murderer
Yep.
rapist
Mugger guy.
mugger, and the mugger guy shoots this dinosaur like 10 times.
Oh yeah, I said sustaining what seems like 36,000 gunshots.
Also, what gun is that?
It's a pistol.
Yeah,
Six
It's
rounds.
got 6 shots in that
Six.
gun.
Never bring a gun to a Velocipastor fight. Just
Never bring a gun.
baseline.
Never
Yeah,
bring a gun.
Yeah.
And also, you know what I love? Even though this movie is so like silly and kitschy, I love that there's still like it has its little lore set up, and like
Yes.
you figure out what it is, and I like that because no matter what movie, vampire,
Because-
werewolf, everything is a little different.
Yes,
in
and that's the
universe
thing.
they're
The
in.
story itself is like well done for a gay movie.
Yeah.
It's the
Had it
it's the
been a higher
execution.
budget,
Yes.
it could have been just like the way they fake promises in the.
What
in the
I
picture.
love,
I'm glad
though-
it wasn't though.
What I love is that
No,
they
me too.
knew their budget and they knew their limits and they stuck to that. And when they realized, hey, we're not going to be able to make this this awesome
Feature
like
film,
blockbuster
beautiful.
thing.
We're
We're just gonna
this
run
commercial
with the
for
schlock.
a low oldie gas station.
Yes.
in
And we're
Mid-State.
gonna poke fun at ourselves, and we're just gonna have fun.
A bit of the dinosaur, the Velociraptor, the Velocipastor. It looks like Barney's crackhead brother.
But you don't quite know yet because
You
it's
don't
dark.
Yeah.
You don't know, but
But
you
at the same time,
happening.
it's clearly just a rubber mask.
Oh, it's clearly terrible.
It's so bad.
It's like worse than Spirit Halloween.
Okay, wait. Can we try to think? Okay, you know what it reminded me of? The show Dinosaurs. Back when it's like, I'm the baby.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That, but
Which was bleak, by the
100
way.
times
It really
worse.
was.
But 100 times worse than that.
Yes.
Yes.
And then so the dinosaur pulls the mugger's arm off, and you can wait.
Right to bare arms, bitch.
You can kind of see that there's a hand through the mouth, and it
Yes.
pulls the
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
fake arm off, and then it pulls his fake head off.
Yep.
And it rolls down the hill, and this is clearly a doll's head. They're making no.
Oh, no.
attempt.
There are no
Not a
qualms
single.
about.
They have one mannequin head and they use it a lot throughout this film.
So note to self: if being a priest doesn't work out, he would be a great pimp.
Oh yeah.
And in that
I feel
moment,
like that's true for a lot of people.
and then so like everybody kind of blacks out at this point. You wake up the next day, he's in Carol's bed.
Yes, and he's
Pastor
trying to find his grounding.
Yes, and Carol can get it. You see her.
Oh
she's
my God,
sexy as
she's
fuck.
She's like
Fantastic.
in that peach nightgown.
Yes.
And then she comes in. I'm like, oh. Bleh.
And he's like, hello, my child. And she's like, Carol.
Right, like, ain't she a baby?
She's like, no, I don't want any of your voodoo bullshit, dinosaur.
Well, and she's unaware that he is a man of the cloth at this
Yeah,
point.
she doesn't know
Right.
he's a pastor
Right.
because she
Because
only
he
saw
was-
him as a dinosaur.
Right,
So
and
now
then-
he's just a psychopath calling her his child.
So wait, the next this interaction that happens is so fucking hilarious because it's this like, it's this thing where
remember
she's like,
last night.
do you
last
remember
night
last
was
night?
amazing.
Last night was amazing. He imagines that they had sex,
And
he's like,
nude.
what?
He's fully
Yes.
in his birthday suit.
Yeah, because he ripped out of all his clothes,
Right.
turning into a dinosaur.
As one does.
And then so she said, oh man, it was so crazy. I think I even peed myself. And he's like, well, excuse me.
Right. And he's like, was it your first time too? And she's like witnessing a velociraptor murder a mugger.
She's like,
sure
yeah.
was. Sure was. And he's like, oh shit. I also love the naivety that he was like, oh, it's conceivable that you're a virgin. And she's
That
just
she is
like,
literally a prostitute.
right, yeah. And he's just like, oh.
No, I'm a prostitute,
It's
but
your
like of
first time.
emotion.
Right, like, yeah.
I'm
and
a
then
sex
just,
worker
like,
of my emotions.
they kvetch to me.
Emotional
it's
labor
fine.
is
I
my
am
sex
emotional
work.
labor.
Yeah.
I feel
That's-
like we
that's
all
a
do
job.
that though. But
Wait,
I feel like
is that
we
just
all
a
emotionally-
psychiatrist? Is that just what a
Are
psychiatrist?
you a psych- Wait, she is in pre. She's studying pre-med law.
Oh,
Yes.
she has a great line about that later.
So
She
then,
has a great line.
So then, as he jumps out of the bed and he's like, "What?" and the panning out, in and out on his face, the camera work is delightful. You know that's another SVA grad.
Yeah.
She says, remember how you were a dinosaur last night? And he goes, what? What? Like, Looney Tunes style.
Okay, and at this point, you don't imagine it can get any better than this. And then he says, I have no clothes. And they're like, we're going to go see the scene of the crime. And she gives him a skin-tight,
Bodycon dress.
Bodycon orange dress.
Velma from Scooby-Doo
Yes.
looking dress.
And first of all, again, he can get it.
Right.
His body is tight as fuck.
Oh, wait.
Prior. Yeah, let's go back.
She's like, remember when you were a dinosaur? He's like, what? First of all, dinosaurs never existed.
Yes, casually
Wait,
dropped.
he said that?
Yes.
I know that he said
I literally have. He casually drops that he doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Yeah.
He's
Oh
like,
my
they
god,
ain't
of
even
course they
real.
don't. Every time I meet someone, I'm like, but what about dinosaur bones and carbon dating? They're like, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
And then
No.
and then she like discloses that she's a sex worker, but also a doctor, lawyer,
Hooker
sex
and
worker.
pre-med
Pre-med
law.
law.
Yeah.
Pre-med law.
And then he calls her a Jezebel.
Oh my god!
Jezebel. it was just I wrote in my notes the writing of this movie.
Although,
movie is amazing.
His
it was
ass,
just
his ass in
divine.
that orange dress.
Oh,
Ooh, can get
cake. Cake.
Cake by the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
I just got that song.
I hate that song so much. I hate it.
Eating butt.
Wait.
Munching on buttholes. Yeah. Cake is like
A butt.
Generation Z slang for a butt.
Wait, are
Come
you
on.
literally serious that I thought this whole time
We're
they were
so-
eating carbohydrates
Baby.
by the water?
Okay, this speaks a lot to Stephanie as a person that her biggest fantasy is eating a carb for once.
Okay, that's actually, honestly, that's true.
Yeah, but eating cake is eating
No
buttholes.
asshole would ever hold this amount of allure for me as a full cake.
Oh, absolutely.
Buttercream sheet.
Absolutely. But yeah, he's talking about looking buttholes, baby.
Okay, you know what? I fucking like that song much better now.
Yeah,
Damn!
sandy buttholes.
Oh, shit.
Well, they're by the ocean.
Okay, so then she actually does this attempt at real acting at this point when they're like, she's like, but you could change the world, like you could get rid of all the evil and the terrible people, and he's like, and she's just overacting the shit out of this in a good way, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna run away in my orange skin tight dress.
She basically proposes that he become a dinosaur,
like a vigilante dinosaur.
Yeah,
like Boondock Saints, but like Boondock T-Rex.
Yeah, the rest of the movie I call the Dinosaur Dexter act.
Yes.
Of him just being like, we'll kill the killer.
He does look like Dexter.
He does. He has that vibe to him a little bit. And he has
Michael C. Hall.
Michael
all
C.
the way.
Hall, first of all, if Michael Anthony Hall in about Dead Zone time and Michael C. Hall anytime.
All of the time.
As a sandwich, I'm with the turkey.
It's Doug Jones.
It comes back to
I'll with the turkey in that. And then it has to be like a multigrain at least, make me feel better.
Oh, yeah.
Or like a wrap, like a skinny wrap. You know?
No, you can't have it as a wrap.
Oh, fine.
So he is dressed as Velma in the woods.
And they're running.
And they
the
decide
go-go
to find this
boots,
spot.
too.
And the go-go boots. It's amazing. So then
you wouldn't be like, you got flip-flops?
Yeah.
wait,
one pair.
So do you know what's amazing? So at this point he runs back to church and he has to do confession.
Oh, he's like, I'm late for my job.
And it's also like, you just learned you murdered someone as a dinosaur and you're gonna go to work?
Yeah, he's like, well, and I just love how he's like, I gotta do confession.
Yeah.
Like, just that phrasing delights me for some reason.
And guess
I gotta work confession.
Right, I gotta work some.
Oh shit! I gotta
do
work
a shift
confession.
at church in the morning.
It's like a fucking bartender. It's like, okay, what do you want?
Right.
What do you
Yeah,
got?
what do you
have?
need? What do you have?
What'd you do? So then, who's the first person who
Fucking
comes
Frankie Mermaid.
to confession? Frankie Mermaid. Okay, wait, everybody, mental picture. Remember the Exorcist in Casper?
Yes.
Yeah.
That comes and he's like, and he has
Piece of
his
cake,
his
piece
head
of
turned
crumb
around,
cake.
piece of crumb cake. He looks like this guy.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That's a good point.
And he says the lines he says. It's
His
like, what did you
intro.
do?
Yes,
Go,
yes.
go, go.
So he goes, oh my god, stole candy from a baby.
And threw the baby
And
in
then
Threw
the
the baby
river.
in the river so it wouldn't snitch, obviously. Just that exchange is...
And he says, oh, and then, I killed some people, I blew up their car, and he all of a sudden is like, you blew up my parents!
He goes into a whole thing. He's like, it was right outside this building, actually. And
and
one of
some
the priests
guy came out and started screaming.
Mom, Dad, like it was his parents or something. And he's like, it was my parents. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
So then he becomes the Velociraptor in anger because Frankie Mermaid who swims in bitches, has just admitted to swimming and murdering his parents.
He doesn't go full Velocipastor,
Wait,
though.
his hands turned into
Just his glove.
Just his gloves.
Just his
They
glove.
couldn't afford
Wait,
the whole
do you know
set.
what this reminds me of? Like in Air Bud, we were talking about Air Bud and the dog hands, and they had
just the dog stick.
the
That's
dog
all they had
stick
money
paw.
for.
They had 10
Yes.
Velociraptor hands. They just sticked on
Yep.
something.
They were
and
like,
then he
this is fine.
slits the guy's throat, and it's like a very long, drawn out, slitted throat.
Also,
death.
let's talk about the effects here because this is a great
yes,
please,
chance
dive
to
in, dive
branch
in.
out. Because like in
The
this
glove is
moment,
shit.
the glove is shit. That's not part of the effects. I don't think any money went into that. I feel like
I'm honest,
Brendan Steer had that in his closet from
I'm gonna
childhood.
be honest. I think Velocipastor was mostly funded by Spirit Halloween.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So the effects here where Frankie Mermaid gets his throat torn out, it is caked on so that you can clearly
like my
see,
face.
like you can even see the individual lines of ketchup packets underneath the makeup.
Just Vaseline.
Yeah.
Did you pause? Did you pause?
No,
It was that obvious.
that's
You don't
not
need
real.
to.
But like you can, it's like the skin tone doesn't match. You can see like the I don't know what it
It's
was,
like
a
when
putty
you're wearing
just
MAC
put on.
at
Yes.
first in your life, and that's the first
Right.
makeup store you go to, and you're like, this color's fine.
Yep.
Like I
This
don't
is
need to
it.
blend into my neck.
No, what's blending? What's
Who's
blending?
she? I don't know her.
I like to look like sun on the top and white on the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
And that really sets the tone for the effects for the rest of the movie.
Oh.
It's like this is done as
Oh.
much as you can. Take
This
it for what it's worth.
This is the
and-
best
yeah.
they did the whole time. I'll be honest. With
Oh,
you.
yeah, this was the peak.
And now he has fucking murdered Frankie, and he wants revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes talks to Carol, his go girl.
He's like, just kidding, I like your plan from earlier, remember?
He's like, remember that time you told me to be confident was wearing this orange dress?
I'm in.
gonna do it for real now. So
Give me that dress.
So
Gonna
they,
work, bitch.
they make commandments that
Yes.
they're gonna live by and track down his parents' murderers. And I'm also just like, what is Carol getting out of this? Really?
Well, her pimp was murdered. So
So
she's
she's
just
happy.
She was
in.
so grateful.
And she's also like the standard sex worker with a heart of gold
I think she likes
archetype
him.
in this film.
like
Yeah. If I didn't have my parents helping me with college, fuck yeah.
Dude,
would've done that.
I had all the money in the world and I still consider doing sex cam work.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Okay,
Okay, first of all,
if
we
you-
should all still do that.
Yeah,
so
yes.
just stay tuned.
If
This
you
is going to be
haven't-
called Silver Scream vaginas.
Find us on OnlyFans.
on
If you
only
haven't considered
murder.
selling your foot pictures, you're not a woman.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay, wait.
Like,
can I
if
just hear that
that's-
I've heard recently that there is tiny lingerie made for feet that you put like a thong for
that-
your feet.
I think that's a
and you
flip-flop.
sell. No, it's a real thing. It's like okay, wait.
You're
Can
just-
any listeners please confirm or deny that there is lingerie for your feet if you have a foot fetish, and please also offer to pay us for our feet. I'm a size 9. Emily's like
Also a 9, yeah.
9.
Also
Blaine's
9.
like small.
8.
An 8. We're all good in that range.
Yeah.
we got
We're legal.
tattooed.
We're
feet.
legal feet. Willing to sell feet pictures.
Unmanicured
God.
feet. I got you.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I just got a manicure. I need like another one. It's fine.
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
so-
So she drops the line, "I don't know much about God," and he returns with, "Well, I don't know much about dinosaurs," and like smash cut next scene.
I want to throw
Beautiful
my
dialogue.
cup against the fucking wall right now.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was I literally wrote my notes, best dialogue ever. It was
Yes.
beautiful. And they seal the deal with a high five.
Boom.
Which is like a classic
wait,
80s
they
high
pause,
five.
They pause first, and you think they're gonna kiss.
Yep.
And then they're like,
They're
ready,
like,
high five.
best friends.
And then they high five, and it's amazing.
I wish they jumped and like freeze frame. That's the only
Yes.
thing that would have made that moment better.
So the song, we then continue into a montage.
Oh,
the
yes.
song is by Spencer. It's called Spencer Reed by The Holy Mess.
Amazing.
And it's kind of like punk. And I was
Yeah.
watching this
Yes.
with my husband, and he really liked the song. He's like, "Oh, it's like kind of punky. I like it." And so they're totally like, you can tell they're totally kind of falling in love, and they're dating a little bit. And I'm like, wait, is pastor is the one that can, or priest can they technically? Are they allowed to date?
No, because the Father Stewart brings up later, he's like, "What about your vow of chastity, son?" He's
Oh,
like,
okay,
"Worry
so
about your own
technically
dick."
no. He's like, keep your dick in your pants, dinosaur. Wait, does it count as sex if it's as what did the dinosaur dick look
Well,
like?
they don't believe in dinosaurs, so I feel like he's
true
probably
story.
fine.
True story.
But I was so I'm like writing these notes while inebriated while watching this movie.
Of course.
And I'm trying to like figure out what the montage should be called in my notes. So it started as a church hanging out montage, and then it became church hanging out with Carol / workout / dinosaur / falling in love montage.
Yes.
They really crammed a lot into that montage sequence. It was
explain.
usually it's 2, maybe 1 thing.
Right.
They were like, nope, whole plot of the movie, 2 minutes, let's go.
You could see that a lot of the footage that was already used or would be used later has just been recycled. In
Yes.
this.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. Very frugal. Way to go, bargain hunting.
amazing.
Even in the way I think about this film as it progresses, I'm looking back on it fondly, like memories in the corner
Right.
of my mind.
I just kept thinking of Trauma. I kept thinking of Trauma Productions. I don't know if you guys have, so Toxic Avenger is
Yes.
like Trauma's big movie.
Yes.
But they also did a lovely little film called Tromeo and Juliet.
Oh my god. Are you
Which is
kidding?
Like a
obviously-
troll?
No, like just their version of Romeo and Juliet.
That's
It
so
is
cute.
divine. And this movie I feel like was trying to be a Trauma production while also kind of trying to be Monty Python
Yes.
in moments.
This was very it was very
The self-indulgence
it was
was
almost
very
like an
Monty Python.
improvisational, like you felt like improv, like they just did things.
Oh, the
as
whole
it came.
script probably fit on a post-it note.
Yes.
And they were just like, do shit in
And I
between.
kind of like that because here's the thing: had they attempted to make this look any better, it would have failed.
Oh, it would have
Yes.
flopped. It would have flopped.
The
Yeah.
reason it works is because they fully take on this standard of really low budget, just cheap laughs and silly things, and like it's just delightful. And this plays into the next scene, which is transition over to fucking ninjas.
They're
Now,
back.
The ninjas must be in New York because he doesn't go back to China, so
Right,
they're
they
here.
switch accents a lot too.
Yes.
A lot.
And
There's an
an
Australian accent.
there's
at
an
some point.
Australian and there's an Australian ninja.
There's like a
there's white
German
ninja,
one at some point. Yeah.
German ninja. It is the United Nations of ginger. Of ginger.
Of ginger. There's
I
a
love
ginger ninja. It's
There's
great.
a ginger, also known as a ginger.
There actually is a ginger ninja at some point, which is lovely.
Ginger ninja. And then I still go back and I think of Beverly Hills Ninja. I think of everyone as
Ooh.
Beverly Hills Ninja in this. And then so basically we discover that the whole concept behind this ninja triad camp in upstate New York is that they have like cocaine that's coming
Yes.
in. And
Spiders,
so-
something.
Spider, and so the main you see this guy and he is obviously the head ninja and he is like actually Asian.
Do we know his name?
I don't think we find his name out.
No.
I just kept saying head ninja.
I just said head ninja.
Yeah.
I say headmaster.
I just
Okay,
said
yeah, perfect.
guy that looks legit.
Yeah. Yep.
And so then he's talking to this white guy and they're like, yes, we must have this cocaine shipment come in successfully or else. And then they start laughing and it reminds me of Robin Hood Men in Tights. And they're like,
Yes.
wait,
Oh
you
my
wanna do
god.
it?
It was
Ready?
like
like back in his throat, but also forced through his teeth.
So first it's like they have this maniacal look, and they're like,
They also mention the lizard warrior.
Yes.
So they are aware of this Godzilla-like creature that exists in time.
And apparently this is like a thing, and it once wiped out the cocaine shipment for ninjas that sell cocaine.
Bummer.
Also, Father Stewart looks like he just left Woodstock.
And also aged like 20 more years. I don't know how that occurred.
I don't know. He looks like he is definitely like the guy that maybe works at like in a horror movie, he would be the one attendant at a gas station in the middle of nowhere.
He's the one who warns you. Like, don't go there.
He's like, don't go there. And you go, and he's like, I told you so.
He's like, oh, you got murdered, suck it, bitch.
Yeah. So then
he sees them hanging out, Carol and Doug, being all cutesy.
So we transition back to Father Stewart is there, and he's reading Crime
2. And I wrote in my notes, I wrote, Doug is studying Crime 2. He covers it with the tiny Bible, like he's not allowed to read the second crime.
I also wrote, so on his desk is also a book called All About Dinosaurs. So it says, he confronts Doug while reading Crime 2 and All About Dinosaurs. Don't worry though, he hides it behind a much smaller book.
The funny thing is, it took me a while, much like King by the Ocean. It took me a hot minute to be like, oh, it's like Anatomy 1, and he's reading Crime 2. Okay, I get it.
I like to think that he's already studied Crime 1, like, prior to Velocipastor.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he failed Crime 1 and had to retake it.
I had to retake statistics.
Yeah, he's a little behind.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck that. Random stratified sample my ass.
So Father Stewart, he's like, what's going on with you? And he's like, I'm different. And Father Stewart's like, well, a lot of priests are different. Like, he thinks he's gay.
Clearly, like, you know how we did a boys joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, well, everybody likes to fuck kids, but so you're not that different.
Yeah. But it's okay. We'll just move you somewhere else.
Same. Why do you think we're so close?
Yeah.
We'll just move you to another. You want some wine? Wine? And then so they stare at each other for like 2 minutes.
Very passionate.
Really like awkwardly, and it's delightful. And
and he drops the line. Doug drops the line. I think God wants a lot of people dead.
Yes.
Because he's saying how this is God's mission.
I have to. So then he does believe he's on a mission from God, and you can't lock a Velociraptor up.
No. Can't
because Father Stevens locks him up.
Stewart,
damn it.
I also love so he believes that he's a Velocipastor. Like, he buys it, but he's like, this key will work with a glass door.
Yeah.
Like, if you buy into the fantasy, you gotta
dinosaurs
buy in.
Respect locks.
Give me that dinosaur.
So then he, like, is it, like, just a memory, or is it a vision of his parents?
I think it's like he's thinking about, like, what would his parents say of his situation. So he's, like, imagining back.
To the scene with his parents. He's having a vision to time with his parents, and they're laughing, and they're eating white bread.
Far too long they're
laughing. It's so great. All the extended laugh scenes.
Like a dolphin.
It's like it's SpongeBob SquarePants with like
dolphin and SpongeBob. That's my parents.
And he gets in the car and he's okay. Although also he's wearing a cat and butterfly sweater, like a really old fashioned. Like,
I mean, he's
cute.
fashionable.
And you can't make more fun of this movie than the movie makes fun of itself.
Oh, that's the beauty.
No.
That's the beauty.
That's where I was like, I was concerned going through this. I was like, this movie doesn't take itself seriously. How are we going to deconstruct this and make fun of it even more?
But it's just so great. And it's almost like, I just want people to know because I feel like, unlike The Thing and unlike Teeth, like, people aren't really going to want to watch this. And they might listen and be like, okay, this is so fucking dumb.
Exactly.
I want to watch it.
You have to.
So the next scene is he goes to a voodoo temple.
Oh, well, just really quick prior to that, in this, like,
I keep
montage.
moving along.
No, I love it. So his dad asks, he asks his dad for advice, and he goes, if you're ever lost in the woods, follow your heart, and your heart will take you home. I am an asshole. So I was like, I'm gonna write this down and remember it, because it's gonna matter. There's some rhyme or reason to this story. Spoiler alert. No.
None.
And also, I read an interview with the director, and he's like, anyone who tries to find rhyme or reason in this movie is going to be disappointed.
Yes,
and I was like, me.
I think that's established when you find out it's a pastor that becomes a velociraptor in fake China.
When you hear the title, you gotta be like, go fuck yourself.
You have to
That's
be like,
the next. That should be the tagline. Velocipastor, go fuck yourself.
I can't wait till we do Tremors, because Tremors does take, it's like this exactly, but they take it real serious.
But yeah, they take it they try to be nuanced.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, there's a lack of nuance.
So
then,
Father Stewart takes him to a voodoo temple. You're almost like thinking.
Yeah, Altair.
Also, great name.
Yes.
And also, hands down, my favorite character in the
Oh my
movie.
God.
Hands down.
Also,
He has tarot cards.
Can we talk about, so he takes him to an exorcist, and this exorcist has to be like a real live witch.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The eyeliner is on
the
point.
eyeliner,
The
the
beard.
pointed ears that definitely were not makeup.
Nope.
Those
Not his
had to
ears.
have been
I do
his
know how to do
ears.
those with
He's
with
an
some
elf.
eyelash glue, though, if you ever want to do it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's great.
Done.
Next Monster Mania.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so he takes him to this exorcist, and apparently Father Stewart has had to use this exorcist
Also
before.
Dave Navarro, by the way.
Yes.
Is that...
He looks like Dave Navarro.
He
Oh,
does. He
yes,
looks just like
that's
him.
a person.
Yep.
You're
like...
I just spit my champagne.
No, he's actually played by, what is it, Ariello Voltaire is his last name? Which I think is
Voltaire, also a great name.
Right.
And then, so Father Stewart is like, it had been a long time since I'd come
Had
to
to call
the
him.
exorcist
Such a
since
great
the
part.
war.
This is the best part.
So we flash back to Father Stewart fighting in Vietnam.
That wig.
Blaine, take us through this, please.
The
God.
blonde wig.
So he's in Vietnam fighting with his friend Ali. And
Who's,
Ali...
like, from the Bronx.
Yes.
Yep.
Ali is going on about how this is a goddamn dirty war, and you know what? He's gonna...
He's also very khaki.
Yes. Father Stewart's gonna go home and have a buttload
Right.
of children, and he's gonna name one of his kids after Ali. And then he's gonna do this special smile, just like Ali's doing right now. And just as Ali smiles, he gets shot and he's killed. And then as the camera pulls back to like show you that he was killed, you see that there's a soldier in the background who's wearing Vans.
Yep.
Which I just couldn't get
And
over.
just denim.
Yes.
Denim aplenty.
And then so Father Stewart, the woman he's pining for while he's in Vietnam, what's her name? Meredith?
But he, well, also, right before he gets killed, he's like, you're going to remember me as the guy who got through the war without a scratch.
Yes.
He says,
like,
you're gonna have
survived.
5 kids. You're gonna have 11 kids. You're gonna name one of them after me.
Beautiful.
This accent, I love it.
This every scream is like a premature ejaculation scream.
Oh, yeah. I actually, like, at one point forgot that, like, I recently don't have, like, neighbors that share well with me. And I kept turning it down because I was like, the neighbors are going to be
Yes.
listening to porn. Which, like, I mean,
Yes.
business as usual.
Also, the
But-
volume, like, throughout the movie kept going up and down.
So
I couldn't hear them
stabilized.
talking, and then
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
way too
Because-
much.
So what happens? It's like us doing a podcast, like where
Yeah.
we're clearly like amateurs.
Oh, yeah.
and
We're
trying to
babies.
make it sound good, and it's like, dude, but you put this movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
So
Jeff Bezos
so his
approved.
girlfriend exploded right in front of him.
Yes.
And it's so fucking
Which,
amazing
why?
though.
Why you in Vietnam?
Yes,
What
that's
you
what I was
doing?
like.
Wait,
Nobody
wait.
addresses the
And
fact
the
that she's
friend
in
is like,
Vietnam for no
she
reason.
probably wanted
Also-
to start a family.
right now. Also though, wait, this is clearly
loins
happening
are ready.
next to a shed that looks like an abandoned New York City crack den.
Oh, it is. There's actively probably crackheads.
There's
in
crackheads
there.
and they're like, yo, what are you doing? They're
It's
like, we're
loud
recording.
out
They're like, you got any crack?
They're like,
So-
recording in Vietnam. They're like, you know, this is a bad idea, right? And they're like, shut up, crackhead.
So we go back to the seance with Dave Navarro. And he is saying things that are enticing the Velociraptor out
He's
of the
also
pastor.
holding tarot cards. Did you catch the card he was holding?
I did not catch the card.
I couldn't.
no.
Yeah, I thought for a moment I thought it was the high
Emily
priestess,
and Blaine
which
are
made sense.
my designated witch friends.
Right.
I am but a pawn in their witchy
But
plans.
that's fine.
I will
She's
go
actually
along.
just under a spell to be our
Yes.
friend.
Honestly, I'll just go along and I'm like, oh my god, yes, you guys are so smart. And I'm like, I have no idea what's
I
happening.
thought maybe it was the hermit that he was holding, but then I got a glimpse of it and it looked like the Two of Cups, and then I realized that there's probably no continuity.
Yeah,
and it's probably
none
a different
whatsoever.
card.
Yeah,
but
I
the way
wasn't-
he's holding it is kind of sexy. I don't know why. Okay, so let's take a dive
Yes.
into just
I mean, I don't know about you, Emily, but being a witch,
Right.
I
A
am
man with tarot cards.
Yes, a man with tarot cards, a man with
Sploosh.
eyeliner, done.
yeah, done. I'm in. Let's go. Let's start.
You
a
gelled your
family
hair
of
today?
cats.
I'm out.
Yeah. Is that Wet and Wild in your hair, sir?
What's so great about this scene is that this is the most elaborate set they've done
By far.
to date.
And that just means they used a tablecloth.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't.
That's it.
The bar is so low.
So then he turns into a Velociraptor at the seance.
As one does.
And he takes, and Father Stewart is there, and Father Stewart's like, oh my god, and he takes his fucking eye out with his one middle
Yeah.
nail.
Yes.
Well, he gets into that hunger thing again.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm
I am
He's like,
hungry.
yeah, he's like, how do you feel? Because he's
I
trying
feel
to
like this
exercise
is a
him.
really, really drawn out way to get to a Taco Bell commercial.
Yes. At the end, it's just like a
Like,
ding.
I want Taco Bell.
It was like,
So you assume that Father Stewart has been killed. It's a rule of any horror movie that you get a second scare.
yes.
No one's
Yes.
actually dead when
No,
you
no
think
one's
they
ever
are.
dead.
Any movie ever that's horror in the past 20 years, like you you think they're dead, and then they get that second scare. So, like, even, like, I'm the biggest dumb idiot, so I'm like, oh, he's dead next, and I'm like, biggest Mama Voorhees, bitches.
Yes.
Oh,
Best second scare.
But wait, no, she comes out like 18 times.
I know, but in the end,
So then he goes back to Velocipastor, goes back to Carol.
So then the ninjas are now Australian.
Yes.
Very
Yes,
heavy
like,
Australian accent.
"Hello, mate."
And they literally, so this is when I got the heaviest Monty Python vibes. I don't know about you guys.
Before that, there's a second montage where he goes back to Carol.
Oh my God, you're right.
And
yes.
there's a second montage, and then there's the song is by Math the band.
I love you so much.
And this is the weirdest sex scene. And you're
Oh
waiting.
man.
You're
best.
waiting for some naked gun with Leslie Nielsen.
You don't
to go
Yes.
down.
see titties in this movie at all?
No
No
titties.
titties.
Which I was just like,
And honestly,
Tip it to
wait,
you.
do
Oh,
you
see,
know
I was
what I
just
wrote?
wrong.
I wrote in both of this one and the following one we're doing, I wrote, do you see the titties? And we did not.
We did not see the titties.
Because I would have liked to see Carol's titties.
also
my God.
Doug had a surprisingly hairy chest. I was not
Surprisingly
prepared
for
for
a
that
boy.
hairy chest.
Here for it.
I hate hair. As the sex scene is happening, they flash through the entire movie to date. As the sex scene is happening.
Yes! Oh
They
my God,
flash
you're
through
so
the
right.
entire
Yes.
movie.
Yes. Every moment.
And it's like, literally, you're like, wait, am I having a stroke or is this shitty sex scene getting worse? And honestly, I'm just really annoyed
I
because
was
I'm like,
so inebriated.
at the very, I'm like, at the very least, could you not have given us like, look, they're obviously in an NYU dorm. So
Right. Oh,
somebody
yeah.
suck a dick, get some ejaculate flying, something. Nothing is working here.
Although we do just understand that in this film there is just ejaculate everywhere. It's
Everything is
unspoken.
everything. It's
Everything's
like in teeth.
crackly.
Everything is crackly and
Right.
jizz covered.
Everything's just a little crunchy. Yeah.
So now they flash. They had the sex scene. They flash through the entire movie. Then all of a sudden, the ninjas enter.
Mm-hmm.
The ninjas enter. We're in their bedroom in the morning. They fucked. So then the ninjas enter through every window, which is 2, and they jump around. And all of a sudden, we get into this epic kung fu, horrible kung fu
Oh, it's
battle
beautiful.
where Carol and Velocipastor
How do they know how to fight?
Know
I
how
don't
to
know.
kung fu.
I mean,
have
I
a
like
whole
to
bullet
think-
point that just says this bitch can fight.
Oh yeah, I like to think that Carol took like self-defense classes and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
like
she
that.
would need to.
in,
Yes.
She would
in
need
Upper
to.
East Side, she went and
Yes.
took self-defense. And so everyone starts fighting, and they kill the ninjas in one fell swoop. All the ninjas are dying, and and they start making out again immediately after this, which is hilarious.
Well, nothing gets you hot and heavy.
No,
like a
nothing
ninja
gets
fight.
better than kung fu fighting a bunch of
Everybody
ninjas
was kung
after you
fu
fuck.
fucking.
Oh,
Mine is
Felt like he's Dracula.
Mine is Count from
Mine is
Sesame Street.
we go back to the ninja camp. We transition. Father Stewart is alive.
Right,
I
just
knew
Mr.
it.
and I. Just
And
Mr.
he just
and
got
I.
an eye patch. Wait, P.S. I don't think the proper way to wear an eye patch is with your glasses first, then the eye patch
Why?
over the glasses.
No, but
What
can I
could go
tell you
wrong?
something though that and it reveals a lot about me. I was suddenly attracted to Father Stewart with that eye patch.
He's broken.
Yes,
I could fix him.
I can fix it.
He would need help.
So, okay, Father Stewart has the eye patch.
Yes, eye patch.
And then he's talking to the head ninja. And
Yes.
he's at Evil Ninja Camp.
This is when they reveal that the cocaine is Spider's Kiss blend.
Yes,
Also,
Spider's
that
Kiss
sounds like a
blend.
fabulous coffee that I want to try.
Oh my god,
It sounds like a
Two.
strain of weed. I think that actually may be a strain.
you should make it.
I should make it.
2, do you
It's
know...
just some maple syrup. I'm just like smoking.
I pulled a bay leaf out of my recipe,
Just bay leaves and maple syrup.
like a caprese salad.
It like cures cancer. Like you don't even fucking know. Michael Scott already invented caprese salad and weed. So the head ninja shows him the Spider's Kiss blend of cocaine.
Also,
And-
I love how their plan, to interrupt
Yes,
you, as I
yes,
always
no,
do,
no, please do.
their evil plan is that this will benefit both priests and drug dealers.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if
They're
you get the
interconnected.
whole world addicted to cocaine, they'll all join Christian help groups.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yep.
like Father Stewart, like to back up just a little bit, he says, "What does drug smuggling have to do with Christianity?" And the one ninja is just like, "Everything."
Obviously, idiot. Oh my god.
So,
So they reveal their nefarious plot at this
Yes.
point in time.
And Father Stewart's like, "No," so they kill him.
Which I would also like to note that, like, there's no better time to reveal your plot than 10 minutes before the
Yep.
end of the movie.
Nope. And also, I love that this is filmed exclusively in someone's backyard. We immediately pivot back to Carol and Velocipastor. He says, "Good thing the ninja told us where the hideout was before he died."
Right? Like, P.S.
And then
that's
just
how we got
quickly
here.
cover the bases.
So we get back to the ninja fight.
The enrollment rates of this evil ninja cocaine ring are down.
Yes.
Right.
Arguably.
They're not doing great.
I don't know how much the student
Evil
pay
Ninja
is, but
School is
Evil
not
Ninja
doing
School
well.
is not doing well.
So we find out that the ginger ninja that we've referenced earlier is
Ginger!
actually Doug's brother. Womp womp. And their parents clearly had a favorite.
Yes.
So, like, it kicks back to this montage that we've discussed earlier of the parents, and you find out that this ninja was, like, hanging out in the background the whole time. So it's just been a bad go for him. So
Yes.
they get into, like, this battle, and then using his own sword against him, Doug kills his brother, which, do we ever learn his name?
No.
Which
maybe.
I think is really great.
Well, it says a lot too. Like, yeah, he's the unliked brother.
Right.
Like, we don't need to know his name.
So
bitch.
you're basically
Yeah.
seeing all these scenes where the parents are laughing beautifully, and
Right.
the brother's just in the back like,
Some dummy in the
"Ugh,"
background.
and nobody gives a shit about
Right.
him. Also, now I like how Velocipastor, I'm never saying his name,
No.
looks like John Travolta in Grease.
Also,
His-
Carol's fur jacket.
Fabulous.
I want that jacket.
I love that
want-
jacket,
so-
but it's like you really brought that to a ninja fight.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
so-
How else
so
would one
Carol-
dress?
So Carol and Velocipastor go to this epic upstate New York ninja battle.
Yep.
Cocaine ninja battle. She's wearing that Forever 21 catsuit. Apparently now he can, when he murders his brother, by the way, apparently he has a knife
With the katana.
wielding powers
Yeah.
to get the katana to come to
Well,
him.
because the brother goes, my ancestors. Sorry, I can't even
I'm sorry, I want
He
to
said, "I will not stain the ground of my ancestors with your blood." And then he's
Wait,
like, "Wait,
Emily.
your ancestors are my
Do
ancestors."
Milwaukee ancestors go.
Ancestors. He's like,
My ancestors.
He's just like, who do you think your ancestors are? Like, your dad's name was clearly like Greg or some shit. So, your mom's name was probably like
Janet.
Kathy or
Kathy.
Janet or some
Wait, and
fucking
she only
shit.
read Kathy.
She only read, they're big John Grisham fans.
They love a
Like,
good
it's-
JG. A good JG. I love a good JG.
So, like,
So-
so then he gets to, like the caucasity.
The caucasity. Do you have the caucasity to call me?
Shouts to Amanda Seals.
Right.
So
then
then
of caucasity to be like, I can do this at all. Just fucking tickles me. So then he's like, we have the same ancestors, bitch, and takes his katana out of,
and
thin
slashes
air
this motherfucker.
and just slashes him.
so the
Slashes
fake
him.
blood is so fake.
Ketchup.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's even Hunt's ketchup. It's not even
It's
Heinz.
not even, no. It's no. You know what it is? It's that ketchup that's just in the red squirt
Yes.
container.
Yeah.
That's water and
It's
tomatoes.
the watery ketchup.
It's the
That,
Great
like-
Depression.
because
ketchup.
it's dripping. It's falling like rain.
It's
It
not
is.
great.
It is like the Great Depression.
That's
You know what it is?
beautiful.
It's like you had real ketchup,
Right.
and you put like half a liter of water
Right,
in
you
it
had
to
to
make
make
it
it
last.
3 bottles.
That's what
Yeah.
we did with milk growing up.
Yeah. yeah.
So then, Carol's over there playing patty cake with these fucking ninjas.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How she's fighting them. How many bros did they get from NYU? They promised them a joint and half a cronut to
Half
do
a
this
cronut.
fight scene. And then the ninjas are crying so Carol gets hit.
Right.
She gets stabbed.
Like
she's
through,
dying.
like the chest area.
Yes. She gets
And
slashed.
somehow that translates to choking up blood.
Right.
And,
I'm not really sure where the
Internal
logistically
contusions.
internal contusions happen. So she's dying, and she's like, so then Velocipastor comes over, he's like, oh my god, Carol, I love you, and you're dying. And she's like spitting blood in his face, and all the other ninjas are like holding each other
I
and
know.
crying.
They're like,
watching
they
her.
give them a moment. Like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Also-
we killed your girl.
Can we talk about how she gets slashed? So you think it's down to the last ninja, and then the last ninja is like, uh-oh, and like calls to the tent, and like this other ninja comes out and very slowly walks up to Carol and just like slashes her with no fight at all.
So this is the head ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
head
he just
ninja.
like slashes her, and then she falls, and then they're all like, my bad. And suddenly there's like a dozen of them. again.
Right.
And they're
So,
all
yeah.
crowding around Doug to be like, oh no, Doug.
And they're like, no, we're so sorry, we didn't
Oh,
mean
no.
to, we just wanted the cocaine.
Right?
I think of that moment in The Office where Ryan's like, oh no, Stanley, you'll live forever.
And then Kevin's like destroying the machines.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Okay, so then...
So then she says the words, you're better than them, you're a good man with a good heart, and that's all that matters. That's
Again,
all that changed
overacting.
anything.
Again.
Well,
Have a
and
little
also,
faith.
that's just not true.
No,
All
no!
that matters is that you're a man.
Yeah.
You are a man.
You're a white dude.
You're a white
You're good.
dude.
You have ancestors.
You're the only people that have the ability to change anything in the world. And then just straight up, looks like she dies, but we'll get there because no one's ever actually dead
Oh,
in
no.
this fucking movie.
So her death is the best fake death. All
Ugh.
ninjas. So then Velocipastor is pissed.
Full dinosaur.
And he goes, give me that dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes full dinosaur.
Yep.
And this is the first time you get a solid look at this fucking
tarp
spirit Halloween.
That's exactly what it is. It's the blow up dinosaur suits that everybody wears.
Dinosaur suit.
But without the fan. Also, it's not been blown
without
out.
the bottom, there is a hole. You
Yes!
can stick a whole body
like a
through that
onesie.
bottom thing.
It's a onesie
No, it's
snack
like that
bottom.
dinosaur has a poop and a peep shoot.
He does.
Open down there.
You can just see him standing, clearly. And then in front of him is like this stuffed dinosaur head that's just like flapping in the breeze.
And then they're fighting. He is fighting. Mm-hmm. And the
head ninja.
The head ninja tells him this origin story of the lizards that ruled China.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, do you have any last words?
Oh, he shoots him in the leg with an arrow.
Yeah, and then he turns back into a man.
The antidote for this curse.
Right. And then he's like, oh my god, he's like a man again, and you don't see it. And then he says, do you have any last words, Velocipastor? And he's like, my hand doesn't.
It's immune.
Yes, he goes, only 6. Which I love. That's the best response to you have any last words. Yes, only 6. I think my hands are immune. And then strangles a mannequin head.
Strangles the mannequin, the baby mannequin head, which looks like like in an
it's a beauty parlor
in like a threading salon.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
They made it have like these huge,
bushy
very
eyebrows,
xenophobic looking features.
Yes.
That looks like a fake samurai.
Yep.
And it has eyelashes glued on for eyebrows essentially.
And then he strangles it, rips the head off, and then looks at it, and then flips the head around to face to camera.
So like, and we're not exaggerating. This is the most. It is truly a fake mannequin head.
Oh,
There's no
it is.
veiling of this.
I learned how to French braid on one of those like Barbie heads when I was a kid, which speaks a lot.
It's like the fake hands you learn how to do nails on.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
It's everything I never wanted.
Right, and holds up the head and just like, ah! And then the Gandhi quote comes on the screen.
So, one quick thing about
yes, please do.
So the quote that comes across the screen as Doug is holding up the mannequin head is, only through the elimination of violence will we be able to achieve world peace, and it accredits it to Gandhi. However, this is not a Gandhi quote. It is actually how the 80s B-movie Miami Connection ends, which is also full of racism, violence, and ninjas.
Bitch,
so
yes! Look it
up.
talking that shit. That's amazing. I was just like, yep, Gandhi.
Yep, done.
Probably right.
Sold.
Damn. So then you assume that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I started folding my blanket.
Exactly, same.
Nope.
And then
Nope.
Carol, he goes, oh no, Carol. And then like,
so
we cut to the hospital where apparently this doctor who's like shiny circle thing.
Yeah, the way it's so
On
funny,
her
she's
head.
wearing this fake, like, the thing, I don't even know what that would
I don't
be
know
for.
the reflector
and
thing.
it falls over his eyes
Yeah,
as he's talking.
He's wearing it as like a mask.
It's literally like a high school play.
Yeah, and he's like
cameras.
clearly
so
drunk.
sweet.
Also, he's
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
he pulls
Smoking cigarettes.
No, he pulls a cigarette out of an ashtray of used cigarettes.
Yes.
And you
He's
can
a bitch on a
see
budget.
in the background there are magazines from an actual doctor's office. Like they went to doctors' offices around them
This
and
was
just
his
like,
doctor?
this is mine.
You
They
know.
had to schedule a well visit just to shoot
So all
there.
of a sudden, Carol was 100% dead, and then he's like, "We fixed her. No explanation how she's fixed.
Right, she's fine.
They said he goes in to see her, and she was literally dead. There's the only thing strapped to her is a blood pressure.
Yep.
like something to read her blood pressure.
That's the important thing.
And then she's like, "I'm okay," and he's like, "You're okay." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm okay," and that's it.
Well, yeah,
it
'cause we're
flashes
expecting-
she's okay on the screen.
We're expecting her to say, "I'm pregnant."
Yeah,
but
right.
really it's like, she's fine.
She's fine. It just says she's fine. Doesn't
okay.
it say
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
So she's okay. Yeah,
They
she's
just
fine.
use
She's fine.
text as cover for a lot of things that you would be like,
Right. They're like, oh, there was a boogie hanging out of his nose. Let's put text on the screen. And then it ends with him dressed like John Travolta.
Yes.
Again.
Please.
And he reveals that he's resigned from the clergy and that they were going to have to live like on the run forever because these ninjas ain't going to stop it coming.
And he's smoking cigarettes now. And
Yeah, 'cause
Carol's
he's
with him.
badass.
They're on a cliff in a classic car of Chevelle,
Yes,
overlooking
beautiful.
the valley of upstate New York. And the song that plays at the end of the movie is "Speak Uneasy" by the Holy Mess. It's like this kind of like shitty poppy punk sound.
I love
I
it.
really feel like all of these songs were created for this movie.
the film. Mm-hmm.
Like of course, because you're in New York, so everybody you know is in a band. So they were like, "Here, can you just make a song for this movie?"
They're like, we
please?"
have a mixtape at 9, but
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, so it closes on them like living a life together of being on the run from miscellaneous ninjas.
I will say this. This movie was everything I never knew I wanted.
Oh, it was divine.
Oh my goodness.
It was divine.
You had to give this movie out of 5 fake Air Bud Velociraptor hands.
Ooh, that's a good metric. Okay.
I'm gonna go 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not because I didn't like it, but because it's not one of those movies where you feel like you wasted your
Is
life.
this, and I'm sorry, is this out of 5 or 10?
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
This is important. Yes, 5 or 10.
I'm gonna go 2.75.
Ooh, that's generous.
Almost a 3.
Okay, almost a 3. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 2.5.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
And because I feel like I would have given it a 3 if it wasn't for all of the blatant racism.
Yes.
That
Also,
has to knock it down a little bit.
I mean, I'll be honest though. Frankie Mermaid.
Yes.
And like the Vietnam scene, it's all like Tropic Thunder with $2 budget.
Yes.
And it's a fucking delight.
So Blaine had some great facts about how they made this film look old.
Oh yeah.
You did?
So yes. So what they did in terms of making it look like grainy and like it was aged, they put the film. So
They put the film in the oven? Is that what
Well,
you
they baked it eventually, but they
Wait,
were
are
but
you
that
for
first,
real?
yeah, to age it, they actually
I
took
read that and then I thought that was fake.
No, that's a
no,
legitimate thing that
it's
they
legit.
did. Yeah.
And then they took the actual film strip and they rubbed it on various surfaces in the bathroom to give it that like scratched and aged look. It's fantastic.
And they said they did the bathroom only because it was the only room without a window,
Yes.
and it wouldn't expose the
My
film.
face is aghast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. But I
And
mean,
they
job
also
well
baked
done,
it. They did a
because I
beautiful
kept
job.
having to remind myself that this wasn't filmed in the 80s.
Right.
Because I kept giving them like more
Credit.
more slack with
Yeah.
like, I mean, they are blatantly racist and they use the word hooker and they don't use the term sex worker, but they didn't know better at the time. But like, no, they did.
They did. No, they did.
I kept forgetting
They
that
had
like they
every
don't deserve-
opportunity
right?
to
They,
be
they
better.
have no grace in terms of like just being xenophobic.
So
assholes.
there are that we can see blatantly on the screen. There are 3 people of color.
Okay. Good
There's
clocking.
one black ninja, and there are 2 Asian
Asians.
people.
And for New York, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. There are 3 women. One is Doug's mom, one is the Chinese villager, and
Yep,
one is
Chinese
Carol.
villager.
So there's no opportunity. None of them interact. So there's
Yep.
no opportunity for the Bechdel test to pass.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Not even a thought.
No.
And
You know
again, recent.
Yes.
I'll be
recent.
honest though. You know what could have fixed this? More dinosaurs.
Oh my
More
god.
lady
Give me
dinosaurs.
that. Give me that. Dinosaur.
Damn, that was really good.
Should we end it there?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go.
I like it.
Love you guys.
Bye.
And that's it for us today. Remember, support trans kids. Trans rights are human rights. Love you.